that we have blackface weighing in on mortgage rates going up again. Yeah, another 25 basis points. And I don't know if we're going to get relief or in the coming months there's going to be more of this. If you have a variable mortgage, and I know someone that does, my heart goes out to you. And for those who have their mortgages coming due in the next year or three, you are in for some really serious sticker shock when you go back to negotiate the next term. But I'm sure blackface has some encouraging words for all us hardworking Canadians as inflation and interest rates continue to increase. Let's check out what he has to say.
Lending rate to 5% today, that's the highest in over 2 decades. How concerned are you that Canadians are going to start defaulting on mortgages and other debts?
Look, this is not the news that any Canadian wanted to receive this morning. This is also a challenge that I've had conversations with fellow leaders from here in Europe and around the world on. The cost of living is a real challenge everywhere around the world, with record high inflation, with interest rates continuing to go up. People around the world are facing significant challenges. That's why in Canada, we've stepped up with targeted support for people who most need it at this moment. So last week, we delivered the grocery rebate to 11 million Canadians. Canadians in provinces where the federal pricing backstop applies will be receiving their climate check this week. And next week, the Canada Child Benefit is going to be increasing with the cost increases in the cost of living. On top of the housing benefit and other benefits we're delivering, we are very much focused on supporting Canadians, even as we create great jobs and grow the economy. We will continue to be there for Canadians through these difficult times as we create a brighter future for everyone.
Unbelievable, Alexa.
Listen to that. So for the grocery rebate, and you need to be allowed to have it, like, so you have like certain criteria to have it. But if you are single, no children, $234. If you have 4 children, $628. You have 4 children, okay, for $628. I'm sorry, but for 1 year of $628, it doesn't like do a week, not even a month, I think. I don't think that will help that much. And you're really proud of that? I'm sorry, but...
No, you're right. I think $234 might be, what's in your basket, not shopping cart at the supermarket these days, Alexa. Exactly. But, he blackface kind of shrugged his shoulder. I'm talking to world leaders. We're all dealing with record high inflation and increasing interest rates. So you see, it's out of my control. Oh, you know what? You left out one thing that's in your control when you were talking about the grocery rebates and the climate rebates. How about this? Taxes. You continue to increase the carbon tax. You continue to introduce new carbon taxes, and that has a cascading effect, Alexa, as you know. Everything that gets on that pharmacy or grocery or retail shelf, it came there by a truck that is now paying more and more in carbon and fuel taxes. It is in the complete bailiwick and control of the blackface Liberals to suspend those taxes, and they won't. And it's because of virtue signaling. We have to have these taxes that are crippling you because we need to save the planet. Little Canada with less than, 2% emissions for the entire globe, despite the size of our nation. One last thing. He talked about, the bright side is all the new job creation or job purchasing. And I point to just one sector alone, Alexa. As you know, in Ontario, there's 2 plants that are being constructed to build EV batteries. There's one in Quebec being built to do likewise. When you look at the government investment, and I am including the provincial government money here too, Alexa, it is almost $50 billion for something that's not a sure thing, for something that might not be there. They say, oh, well, these factories are going to be there for decades. Would that be 10 years or 20 years? Because with the way that technology changes, these kind of batteries in just a few years can be irrelevant. By the way, I took a look today at the latest figures for EV vehicle sales. Guess what, Alexa? There is a glut on the market. Those things are not flying off the lot. And I think there's two reasons for that. One, the price. I mean, if you're looking at a full EV vehicle, you're talking six figures. I know there's some cheaper ones, but it's in that neighborhood. And secondly, I think there's a profound distrust of what the future of our grid will be like. That I'll come home empty, plug in my Tesla, and oh, gee, we're in another brownout or blackout. It ain't filling up. So, what I'm saying is that this is an enormous, almost $50 billion gamble on something that is far from a sure thing, Alexa.
And especially because those cars are not effective during the winter. We need to say it. It's not effective. So the capacity of those batteries go down by, I don't know how many %, but a lot during winter. And nobody wants to be stuck during winter in the middle of nowhere. So I don't think this, it's why, and we see it, especially for Quebecers, they don't have appetite for electric car at all.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know if you know, but in Quebec, the gas is like 1.79. That is in Quebec. But this is outrageous. I just went to Ottawa last night. It was 1.50. And I was like, wow, this is really a big gap.
Yeah, that is a large gap. I don't know if there's an additional provincial tax threshold on your gasoline. That's probably the reason.
Yeah, it's why.
But I just can't stand the hypocrisy. And you know what? If you want to go to Vegas and be a high roller and bet the house, do it with your own money. Don't do it with our money, and don't do it because at the end of the day, Alexa, this fetish politicians have with electric vehicles, it's about virtue signaling. They're obsessed with the idea of zero emissions, and that is what's driving it. It's not the marketplace. And go to any dealership that has EV vehicles. They are just sitting there collecting cobwebs.